You're listening to Too Many Movies, the podcast where we discuss DVDs, Blu-rays, and even the occasional VHS tape. I'm your host, Hal, and I want to welcome everybody, guests and listeners, to the very first installment of Superman Summer, the Summer of Superman. And I'm joined by Buster. Hello, Buster.
Hello. This is kind of my fault.
Well, I'll get back to you in a minute, mister. And William, you're here too. Apparently. Buster, what do you mean this is your fault?
I suggested you talk about some Superman stuff and lead up to the new movie.
Right.
And you might have taken it a bit too far.
Oh, taking things too far is what I do best. That's not true. I feel like I came up with Superman Summer all by myself, though. Wait. Damn.
You. That's what I'm saying. Like, I pitched at least talking about these cartoons or the original movie,
right?
And like lead up to the movie, and then you kind of like expanded that to a whole summer. So
I guess I did. I guess that is true. Okay. Fuck. Okay. For once, it's not William's fault. for one thing, but also, yeah. I guess. All right. I guess Superman Summer is not my own. It is my brainchild. You know.
No. It is still your brainchild. I just I lit the fire.
You and your lighting fuses. Ugh. Well, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Fair enough then. Yeah. We're talking about the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons, or the Fleischer Studios cartoons. So that's one thing I want to get right off the bat. So the DVD I have specifies as the Ultimate Max Fleischer Cartoon Collection. And yes, it's true, Max Fleischer was the one producing these cartoons, so of course his name would be on there the majority of the time. And then Dave Fleischer directed a couple of them. But I don't know, I feel like just considering it like the Fleischer cartoons makes more sense to me than just specifying just Max, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since it switched halfway to Famous Studios.
Right.
So it was the Popeye guys directing the back end.
Right. Yeah, Skibbity, Superman over here defeating Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Actually, like for a studio called Famous Studios, it's kind of fun. That's a funny ass name.
I've never heard of them. Are they really that famous?
Yeah. I mean, if they made Popeye cartoons, they had to be at some point.
Yeah, they a couple of people know them if they made Popeye.
Yeah. It's really funny how Warner Brothers basically owns everything Paramount has done from a certain point.
From a certain point of view.
And also MGM.
Yeah.
That's kind of screwed up.
But not Disney. Huh. All right.
Who's worse?
I don't know. I hate both of them for myriads of reasons.
So, can we talk about one of the funniest facts about these first?
Yeah.
Sure.
What's a funny fact, William?
That initially, Max Fleischer didn't actually want to do these because it was too big of an undertaking. That he was like, "That's too much effort. I can't do this correctly."
Yeah, of course.
So he told Paramount, "Hey, I'll do it if you give me," and then he gave them like some absurdly high budget number, and then Paramount looked him straight in the eye and said, "Okay, here's the check."
Yeah,
I'd say it paid off because a lot of these cartoons look phenomenal.
Yeah, and we're still talking about them 80 years later. You know, they're considered some of the most iconic cartoons of an iconic character. So, yeah, it did pay off, very much so.
I watched two of those Talking Head bonus features out on my Blu-ray because I have the one that came out like a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring up how like stuff like Batman, the animated series from the 90s, and the Superman animated series were like very heavily inspired by these ones just by like color palette and other things.
Right.
Because initially they wanted to go a little more surreal and campy with the Batman one, but then they rewatched the Superman cartoons and said, you know what? They had the right idea here.
Yeah.
And hey, that's one of the best cartoons of the 90s, according to 90s kids. So.
I'm not sure if that part's true. I think a lot of 90 kids will also tell you Rugrats, but, you know, that's also a completely different thing. I also would not tell you Rugrats either.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing Rugrats into this, man?
It always comes back to Rugrats.
Hey, Rugrats is very important.
It was very important back
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the 90s.
I know
Did you
Rugrats is
see
important.
how much money that movie made when it came out?
Rugrats Mania was crazy. That's why they put a bow on top of one of the Twin Towers when the movie was coming
Yeah,
out.
they renamed them Phil and Lil.
Yeah.
I forgot about.
And then their moms said, "Here comes the plane."
Yes.
Is that a new record for 9/11 joke on this podcast?
That was an alley-oop
Maybe.
there. That was a 3-pointer, William. I'm well done. Yeah, no, I can definitely see the influence from the Fleischer cartoons. Because it is interesting watching these cartoons again and just how, yes, they are campy and silly at times, but they do genuinely take themselves a little bit seriously.
It's more in the back end they get a little silly too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the famous studios era. And I was gonna like, not even just in the tone, but just like in just kind of the concepts of the cartoons, because there's not really like super villains. It's just kind of like regular ass gangsters or just like natural disasters that they
Mind
fight.
you, 1941 you started. How many big villains does Superman have yet?
Not much. So yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
have much to work with.
Well, did they?
When was Luthor?
Yeah, when was Luthor? When were the iconic villains starting to come out?
Well, time to Wikipedia time.
Because that is something I
Luthor.
did notice. Yes, there was a lot of the villains in these cartoons were either poorly aged Japanese stereotypes or mad scientist or big monster.
Luthor did
Or both.
exist by this point. Luthor did exist by this point. He just wasn't like a mainstay.
Okay,
Yeah.
he wasn't a mainstay.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't see Luthor, you don't see Brainiac, you don't see Zod, you don't see these characters that have become iconic Superman villains. Yeah, that's just not.
Instead, you get Dr. Farnsworth playing pinball with space meteors.
Yeah, or you get the Native American mad scientist, or you get the mad scientist with the condor, with his own Iago, essentially. You get a lot of mad scientists, which is great.
That's just how you did it in the 40s. You
Yeah.
fought scientists.
You get guys in lab coats and bad hair, and they're going, "It's too late, Superman. My death ray will destroy everything."
Yeah.
And sometimes you fight a volcano.
Sometimes, yeah.
The best part about that cartoon is the fact that it's literally just called Volcano.
Yeah. The namings are very simplistic. Yes, you get Volcano, Destruction Inc., The Mad Scientist.
Well, technically, that one's retroactively called The Mad Scientist.
Right.
When it first came out, it was just called Superman.
Yeah, that's why I'm finding it interesting, because every time I look it up, it says Superman, but it's retroactively called The Mad Scientist to specify like which one it is, because the whole thing is just called Superman.
Because it was like the first one.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Superman, we are speaking of Superman, but speaking of Superman,
Superman was the only film role that Bud Collyer really had, because he was a radio guy.
yes,
I can see that because like it is very radio esque.
it's a very radio voice, a very transatlantic radio voice. Even though no, he's a little more subdued. But yeah, so on the DVD there are a bunch of bios, and some of them were for Bud Collyer and Joan Alexander, who is Lois Lane, and they were carryovers from the Superman radio show.
Oh,
Yeah, so they played Lois and Superman on the radio show themselves.
Isn't that radio show also the thing that basically fucked over the KKK?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. The fact that you said it means it must be. There's some semblance of truth to it. I feel like
I know there's a story
tried-
about that. I just need to like look into it more.
Yeah, I feel like I tried listening to the radio show, and I didn't get very far because this was years ago. I don't even remember it because it was being bad. I just dropped it because of timing. But like, yeah, it's
This
something
radio
I
show
want to
is
get
a very
to.
different kind of thing than we're used to.
Well, radio serials are not. Yeah, they're not a thing that often anymore. Yeah, you get podcast radio dramas are still a thing. They're just not
like
as
Critical
popular.
Role and stuff.
Yeah, they're not as popular as they once were. Like radio dramas were the shit back in the 40s because they hadn't.
But you didn't have TV yet.
Well, TV hadn't taken off. That was more of a 50s thing. So all you
Yeah,
had was the radio.
I
They
feel
had
like
technology, but it wasn't commercial yet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like actually, something I like about the Superman performance here, because we were talking about like the radio voice and performance. I do like there's these moments in these cartoons where the Superman actor, he really he switches great between like the classic like Clark Kent and then like this looks like a job for Superman. Like he'll switch midway through like his sentence when it's like time for Supermaning, and that, I just like that a lot. It's like very cool.
I mean, the voice acting in general, I will say, is kind of not the biggest thing about these cartoons, just because I feel like a lot of it is visually told, but the voices still do add a lot. I do agree.
Yeah, like especially like on like just talking more about the audio, the Mickey Mousing is so good here. Sometimes kind of bad when we get to the racist ones, but like the Mickey Mousing is just like it really enhances every single action.
Next time it'll be a Mickey fin.
Yeah, it's like because for those who don't know about Mickey Mousing for some reason, if you for some reason don't know, basically that's
please
the
they know what it is. They just don't know they just don't know the name.
I'm stupid. Yeah, please teach me.
No, I'm talking about the people listening who might not know. Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening. Tell me.
Okay, so Mickey Mousing is like where like basically you make a soundtrack, but instead of just like making like a soundtrack, like you kind of like make it to it like touch with every like it goes on the beat with every action. So like when Superman punches, that the music will do a flourish or something. Or when Superman like walks, it'll go like you know?
Yeah. I actually did know that. I just wanted you to tell me I just wanted to make sure you knew it. So yeah, very, very good, Buster.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify because you never know. It can always be someone's first time learning.
It's exactly. It is interesting to learn that there's an actual phrase for that, because that is something I love seeing in movies and such. So the fact that there's an actual term for it, that really helps.
It was like Steamboat Willie was the first time it really happened because it was one of the first sound cartoons. So. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read an article today because Alf Clausen passed away recently. He was the composer for like the first big chunk of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And they actually brought up the fact that like the fact that he didn't Mickey Mouse was why his scores worked, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because he had to score like a drama would.
Yeah. Which fits for that show.
Yeah, of course. Because The Simpsons are more musical cues than actual background music. Yeah. And when there is background music, it's everyone's favorite song, TikTok by Kesha.
Yeah. Duh.
Should we go through like some of our favorite cartoons?
I figured we just do them in order.
Yeah, I figured we would go in order. So the very first one, Superman, or the Mad Scientist. Yeah,
they kind of peaked with the first one.
They kind of did. Yeah. I have my favorites later on, but yes, it's undeniable that the Mad Scientist is the best one.
Because they put their all into this one, because I guess they weren't actually sure how many they would be making.
Right.
And then it was a hit. So it's like, okay, well, hey, bud, you're on now forever.
Yeah. Or at least until 1943. But
keep the money rolling.
Yeah, exactly. I really do like this one. I just watched it about an hour ago, and I rewatched it about an hour ago, and I really do think it gets the formula down perfectly, where it's, there's a bad guy doing bad things, or an issue, or a conflict, I should really say. But this one is actually characterized as an actual mad scientist, and he's basically like, hey, I'm gonna destroy the city with my death laser. And then he just starts destroying it. And
this looks like a job for Superman.
Yeah, Lois gets herself involved because she's the nosy reporter that wants to get the scoop. I want to get the scoop, Chief. And she gets in trouble and gets captured or whatever. In this one, she flies a plane, goes to the mad scientist's house, and he's like, God damn it, this bitch. I'm trying to destroy the city. And she gets captured. Also, the mad scientist has a condor. Just cause, like...
That's like the big holdover from the other Fleischer stuff.
I love the Condor so much.
That is the most Popeye thing in these.
Yeah. He rules so hard. I love him so much.
So then Superman punches the shit out of a laser.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So good. So good.
Yeah. Occasionally that post gets like that clip of the laser punch gets posted on social media. Occasionally people are like, well, they did that in the 40s. And like, yeah, it rules.
Yeah, totally. because again, it's Mickey Mousing with the music, but also just seeing Superman punch a laser. That's objectively cool.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the way they visualize it. Because, like, sometimes as a laser punch, you can just because it's like the laser is still going at him when he's punching it, so he has to, like, keep punching it.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, he punches away the laser as it comes to him. It's
Right.
like, yeah, just cool visual. There's so many great visuals.
Yeah,
in these
I love the
cartoons.
shadowing of or not really the shadowing, but like the color of Superman changes because of how bright the laser is. It's brightening him up. It's great
Yeah.
attention to detail with the coloring.
There are a
Yeah.
lot of shadows in these, though.
That's true
overall.
too. Yeah.
And, like a lot of like low angles, a lot of like far away shots of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like artistic merit to these.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
What's the next one?
Well, I guess one last
we
thing.
gotta talk about the fact that he blows the laser up by tying it in pretzel.
He ties it in a
Oh, yeah, that's
pretzel.
great.
Yeah.
I
And
never even got to thank Superman. Winks at the camera.
winks at the camera. Yeah. Thanks to
Yeah.
Superman. And the Condor gets away. The mad scientist gets thrown in jail, but the Condor gets away. You never see him get away. You never see
I mean,
him
like,
get arrested.
can you throw animals in jail? How?
I mean,
In animal
technically,
jail. Animal jail, yeah.
Animals.
you could probably throw Gorilla Grodd in jail.
Yeah. Because he was too busy making America Grodd again.
Yeah.
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama.
Obama.
Actually, one little thing. I mean, this applies to all the cartoons, but I love whenever Superman is changing into his iconic outfit. You know, you get the iconic, this looks like a job for Superman. And sometimes he'll go into a phone booth or he'll go into a closet, but you can see his shadow like changing into the iconic.
Yeah.
And like the music is so good at getting you hyped up to see him like become Superman. It's so good. And then the ultimate sting once he's in the iconic costume and it's like bum ba dum. It's like hell yeah, he's ready to kick some ass.
Does anyone
Yeah.
ever just find his clothes lying around the planet?
That's a Robot Chicken sketch where I remember I haven't seen it in years, but I remember there was a Robot Chicken sketch where you just see a bunch of homeless people dressed like Clark Kent.
That's crazy.
Because he leaves his clothes everywhere. Yeah. So these homeless people just find his outfits and they just dress like Clark Kent in the streets.
We fast forward to the underground people, and one of the Tengu guys is just wearing his outfit.
That would rule. I'd love that.
The volcano is wearing his clothing.
Clark, why is the volcano wearing your fedora and glasses?
I'd like to know how.
So what's the next one?
Mechanical
Mechanical
Monsters.
Monsters.
This one's good. I've always liked this one too.
Yeah, it has robots.
It has robots.
Big robots.
The biggest robots. Yeah. Sometimes I forget
And they're
because
also planes.
they're also planes. Sometimes I forget how big they are, and then you see them kind of next to people sized, and it's like, oh fuck.
Well, because they make that kind of like a reveal, because like you see
Yeah.
the shadow as like a plane,
Mhm.
and then no, it's actually a robot.
Mm.
Then they all get next to each other, and then you see the science is like, oh, they're big.
Oh yeah, it's a big boy. Big boy, I must
They're like
say.
15 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this
And also,
one.
I think this is like the first cartoon where like we get to see fire animated, and something about the fire in these cartoons, the way it's animated, goes crazy.
I mean, the first one
Yeah.
had fire animated when the laser exploded, but I guess I know what you mean though. In this one, yeah, it's still beautifully animated.
Yeah,
I
like,
love-
fire. Just you go.
I was just gonna say I love the shot. I have it as my backdrop on Letterboxd for this cartoon. Is when the mad scientist dumps the lava onto Superman, and he just uses his cape to avoid it as he's protecting Lois.
Yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful shot.
yeah. It's badass battle.
Yeah.
That for some reason someone uploaded as a backdrop for Volcano.
I don't understand. I mean, I do because volcanoes have lava, but yeah, they got it wrong. Letterboxd, fix your
Because
shit.
the person who uploaded didn't actually watch the shorts.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of mistakes, I will say in this one, the robot that goes into the jewelry display is clearly labeled 5, and that's the robot that Lois gets into. Yet magically later on, when the robot is flying, it's labeled number 13. Care to explain that one, Fleischer?
It stopped at the tattoo parlor.
Oh, it got a different tattoo.
He paid well.
I guess, yeah, because he had the jewels, but I'm just saying there's an inconsistency with the robot numberings in this cartoon, and I will not stand for it.
You're an inconsistency. Also, you're probably sitting at your desk.
Fine.
Got him.
Owned with facts and logic once again.
Hey.
Yeah, is there anything else to this one specifically?
There's a lot of like great bullet sprays in these cartoons, or like someone just shooting at people, or like whenever like anything's getting shot at, there's like a bunch of them. And they all look really good.
Yeah, you have like the police officers in front of the jewel display, and they're going, shoot the robot, and they're just gunning him down, and it's doing nothing. Yeah, and the bullets are bouncing off. Oh my god, yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, really, like they really use the bulletproof aspect of Superman to their fullest potential for a lot of these.
Yeah.
Movies.
Well, they especially do it in the showdown, but we'll get there later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mad Doctor might be the best one, but Showdown's the best one.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about that one. But we got we got like 14 other.
Yeah. Let's move on to $1 Billion Limited then. The one with the train.
Yeah, the train one.
Yeah.
I find this title funny because it's like limited $1 billion. I mean, I grant that's like it's phrased differently, but $1 billion limited. It's like, huh? Like,
did America even have $1 billion in the 40s?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess it's a limited amount of lot of money.
Well, this one's fun because it's a train, obviously. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's carrying a lot of gold. And so then you get the masked robbers. They're not...
you got like a little heist.
Yeah, they're not as characterized that well, but I think they work for, just being the foil of the story because they're there. You understand. They're just train robbers. That's all you need.
Yeah. And the action is still like strong enough to like carry the cartoon.
Yeah, the highlight easily is just watching Clark or Superman just drag the train along, like because the train blows up, and so then he just has to take the train cars with him, and he's just running across the tracks across the country. It's great.
Also, Lois gets a gun.
Lois gets a gun.
Yeah.
That I was actually kind of shocked to see. The fact that you have a cartoon from the 40s and you have a woman character actually get a badass moment like that where she takes a gun and starts shooting at the bad guys.
Lois doesn't do nothing in these cartoons. She at least, she's always one that shows initiative.
Right.
It usually gets her into trouble, but, she usually gets, a moment or two every time.
Yeah, she does. Because that's part of her character. She's the nosy reporter. She wants a story. She wants a scoop. She's curious. Sometimes after a while it gets annoying where it's just like, I'm going to put myself in danger. You're just like, you stupid bitch. What are you doing? But it does make sense in the grand scheme of things. That's who she is. That's her character.
Train.
The train is very good. The train was very good. That's my cartoon review.
And podcast.
Sure. But no,
what's the next one?
We can't end the podcast because we got to talk about the one with Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the one that came out 13 years before Godzilla.
And but they find Godzilla trapped in ice.
He's just the Arctic giant,
just like Wade's again.
It's a very American sci-fi thing to do. Beast from 20,000 Fathoms also did that.
Yeah.
I think just monster in the ice is just a very common sci-fi trope.
Yeah, and it's not even Godzilla. It's Godzilla's greatest enemy, the T-Rex. Yeah.
It's a funny looking T-Rex.
It is.
It is a comically large T-Rex.
Right. Yeah. It is Godzilla sized. That's what's great about this one. So you have, like we were saying, you get either the mad scientist, or you get hired goons, or you get racist Japanese stereotypes. You also get monsters. So you get this gigantic dinosaur frozen and just decides once it's unfrozen, which it unfreezes. Yeah, it just unfreezes pretty quickly, and then it's like, all right, fuck this city in particular, and just destroys everything.
You know, those people in this village below the dam, those guys are dead.
Oh,
100%.
undoubtedly, yeah. It's kind of a fucking shame. It's like, oh, you didn't stop anything, Superman. They're all dead. You stopped the flooding, but they're all dead.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Gotta do what the best you can.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people fell off the bridge when he broke it.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
The amount of carnage in these cartoons is never really. I mean, it is because in the first one, not to go back to the first one, but when the new radio program is like, "Flash, the bridge has been shot up by the mad scientist. All these cars and pedestrians were plummeting into the river." It's like, those pedestrians are dead then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're done.
They're donezo.
Because either they are stuck in their car and are going to drown, or the impact of the water was a lot and it killed them immediately.
Right, exactly. But Superman's like, this looks like a job for Superman. So calm and collected. Dude, people are dead.
Water does not have any real give to it when you're falling at it very fast.
No, yeah, it's like concrete.
Yeah, it's like it's concrete.
Yeah. I can't believe Final Destination 5 lied to me.
I also lied to you.
You do that a lot.
I'm not going to tell you about what, though.
Yeah, I can... You're not actually the dinosaur from the Arctic Giant?
Yes.
Yeah, but Arctic Giant's definitely one of the more creative and I know one of the better cartoons of this lineup.
Because it's taking the formula but applying it to a different villain. This time, instead of a mad scientist, it's now a giant dinosaur, which is cool.
Yeah, just giant. If you don't think giant dinosaurs are cool, screw you.
No.
You should kill yourself.
No.
By getting stepped on by a giant dinosaur.
You just need to find one first.
Mm-hmm. They're around. I mean, this one's now in the Metropolis Zoo.
Oh yeah, the Metropolis Zoo aspect was so
It was
funny.
about to destroy a Yankees game, and then they're like, no, we're not going to allow that, and then it gets captured, and now it's just at the zoo. Okay.
I like how Metropolis is also literally just New York because Manhattan exists.
Well, that's why I specified it as a Yankees game. Well, one, I'm not going to specify a Mets game. Who goes to a Mets game?
Kingpin.
Yeah, Kingpin only. And I guess he's wide enough that he'll fill up all the seats.
I think these days Kingpin's going to the Savannah Bananas.
Okay.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
You'll get it eventually.
Sometimes I just agree to what William says on the podcast just to be like, oh yeah, and then it hits me a second later like, what did you just say?
It happens.
Inverse your balls.
I guess so.
Whoa, all right. You know what? Maybe we should move into the next cartoon before he does
the Bulleteers. Ooh, the Bulleteers.
A good one.
Yeah, great title, Bulleteers. And great concept. Just a bunch of dudes with a plane car that can just
very fast.
that goes so fast it just crashes and explodes into everything.
It's just a bullet car.
Yeah.
Take that, bullet train. We're bullet car. We did it first.
Yeah, and we don't need no tracks.
Yeah, I also I mentioned in my review of this on Letterboxd that I think the Mickey Mousing's at its peak here. Great. At least this is the cartoon that really stood out to me the most.
Right.
And it also just the way I'm a big sucker for carnage damage in these 40s cartoons because they're so overly detailed, and it's the way Superman rips apart the cars, whoa, people drew that,
or the way that it'll hit different areas and it'll look like, oh shit's actually being destroyed, trains are destroyed, fucking the power plant is destroyed. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I understand why, I know people are like, oh, why can't cartoons be like this? I understand why. This is, very expensive, and this, short films have more of, they can use their budget for per minute more than, a regular, 20-minute cartoon or whatever.
Of course. But the fact that we're able to still get this much excitement in a cartoon that's only 8 minutes long is still nothing short of a miracle. That's impressive in and of itself.
Yeah, and I still, people, I just don't like when people use it as a way to shame modern cartoons when we can just celebrate the classic stuff like this.
Yeah.
We can just Like, don't use it to shame like the old modern stuff. Just use it to like celebrate. Like, yeah, we could still, this still holds up. You
Yeah,
know?
there are things to criticize with modern cartoons that don't involve belittling them and comparing them to what came before. You can, like, in a vacuum, you
Yeah.
can come up with criticisms for them.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a little soapbox I've been thinking about.
We'll get off that soapbox and get back into the bulleteer box. We're talking about the
Alright.
bulleteers.
Yeah, no, but yeah, good cartoon.
I like it. Yeah,
Well, so far, not a bad cartoon yet.
not
Is that gonna
yet.
change?
No, Magnetic Telescope is good. I like this one.
Okay. Oh, phew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one too.
This one's good because
This was a shit post.
well, this one is a shit post. Yeah, definitely, because it's just I'm a mad scientist. I came up with a magnet that pulls meteorites into the Earth's atmosphere. Why did you
Why?
do that? Yeah, why did you do that? For science.
Science.
It is just like, yeah, it does feel like a modern, like people just making like Superman memes of like, oh, what kind of villains he fights. It does feel like a meme you'd see on like Twitter or YouTube.
Yeah. I created this machine that destroys everything. Why?
Why?
I don't know. I just wanted to.
Science.
For science.
To see if I could.
Yeah.
But if it destroys everything, you won't be around to get the results. Fuck.
I didn't think this one through.
Yeah, but despite that, it's a fun concept. Like, I always,
Yes.
yeah, the scientists in these cartoons are so funny.
Yeah, well, and this one especially because he's just like, I will do this for my research, and everyone around him's like, dude, what research? Can you cut it out? It's literally
Yeah.
just an excuse to have a giant fireball fall towards Metropolis for Superman to defeat. Like, that's
Yeah.
literally all it's there for. And you know what? Cool. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Also, the ending interaction with Lois in this one, like the end of these cartoons always have like Clark and Lois exchange some bits, but like this has one of my favorite ones. Like Clark is just all rizzed up. This like interaction is like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Well, Lois actually helps because she's the one who is able to push the lever to make it go forward, out into space. Yeah, and then she interacts with thinking Clark is Superman. She's right, but
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
yeah.
Kind of lopsided in quality. A lot of the first half, like you get some of the best stuff already.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. They had a formula down. They were kicking ass with it.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Electric Earthquake. Now, I'll give you this. This one does have the Native American mad scientist. Even still, I think
He's valid.
I really
He's
like this
valid.
one.
It's just my thing with this one is so what you were just already had the death earthquake machine ready to go if they said no.
Right.
I feel like you were gonna do this anyway.
Yeah. Well, my thing has always been, okay, yes, it is your land. Because he goes to the newspaper, he goes to the Daily Planet. It's like, you need to get the story out there that this is my land because, my people were here before them. Superman doesn't even disagree with that. He's just like, yeah, okay. Yeah. But what do you want me to do about? What do you want us to do about it? Like,
we're a newspaper. Go to the mayor.
Yeah, go to the mayor, exactly. And it just gets criticized once, and the guy's like, "All right, that's it. Time to destroy this." And then that opens up a whole other thing where it's like, "Okay, wait a minute. This is your land. Why are you destroying it then? Like, what are you doing?" It's
just kind of that whole like.
Yeah,
poorly thought out where it's like the villain has half of a good plan, but the other half is just typical villain shit.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm thinking, okay, they clearly have a formula and they're trying to stick to it. But then that's kind of where it's like, okay, maybe this is where you deviate from the formula. You try something new. But I guess they thought, oh, the fact that he's a Native American, that's enough. That's enough to differentiate him from the other ones.
I mean, it's not the worst of the racist cartoons.
No,
it's like especially because
he's not stereotyped at all.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's not stereotyped at all. It's just like when you think of the implications, it's like, oh, like it's sort of those cartoons where it's like, oh, you like when you're watching it, it's like, oh, okay. But when you actually like think about it, it's like, oh, that's a Native American wanting back his life.
Yeah. Well, he's also really charismatic. I kind of like this villain.
Yeah,
the actor and
the actor in animation is like good. It just like the plot just kind of falls apart when you think about it.
I like the way
Like,
he kidnaps Lois, where he's just like,
Yeah.
hey, Miss Lane, come on
I know
over.
you're here. Follow me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pure Riz.
yeah. He's just like,
Pure is,
here, have a
You
seat.
know you're caught. Follow me.
Yeah, what a polite guy. What a polite mad scientist. I like this guy.
Yeah. It like it's not like it's a fine cartoon. It's just like like the plot kind of like puts it down a few pegs for me.
It's silly, but I mean, it's a cartoon.
It's silly in a bad way, like silly in a like you didn't really think this through, or just like 1940s.
But even in that sense, I think I still get entertainment from just how.
It's still entertaining.
Right.
It's just like. And like, there's gonna be worse stuff we're gonna cover soon, but like, it's just kind of
for now. This is the Cars of the Fleischer cartoons.
Yeah.
This is
Pixar.
The first signs of being a black sheep, but you're just like, it's still good, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. What's next?
William's favorite, Volcano.
Yeah, baby.
Boy.
Yeah.
He just goes to a volcano. He just goes to a volcano and saves Lois.
Some dudes found out there was going to be a volcano erupting. So, like, hey, you guys want to recover the story about how we're going to stop the volcano from killing people? Okay. And then the volcano erupts early. Oh, no.
This one's great, too, because I feel like this is the first time we get a sense of Clark and Lois's reporter relationship, where they're kind of battling each other to get the story. Like, they're so petty to one another. It's not something that's explored that much in these cartoons. Like, it pops up every once in a while, which is an interesting aspect. I don't know if it's ever explored in a lot of other Superman media. I'm not clearly I'm not an expert, and I'm trying to become an expert. But yeah, is that ever really explored further?
Like the competition, maybe in the 1990s, the animated series, like from what briefly I remember, but like that's like kind of. It's been a while since I've watched that cartoon. And,
I feel like
even that they're normally working together nowadays to get the scoop, where it's like because they're part of like in My Adventures of Superman, they like work they're like part of a team of like reporters who just they gotta like work together to get the scoop.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like you would probably explore that more in a television show, because a lot of the movies I've watched you never really see Superman being a reporter. Like when BVS was coming out, I'm like, oh right, Superman's a reporter. I keep forgetting that sometimes.
Yeah. There's like that's just kind of like a thing with these like legacy like characters that have been around for years. It's like there's so many aspects to them that like you're only gonna get a couple of them. It's not there's never gonna be like an ultimate take. You kind of gotta like pick and choose.
Yeah, but this is a cool aspect that I think this one definitely shows. It's great. I like the pettiness with Lois just taking his pass, so then he can't go up there to get the story, but then she's also closer to the volcano when it erupts, so karma's a bitch. Yeah,
it's funny, but it's still like Superman fighting a volcano. It's fun.
Oh, the volcano rules. Yeah, it's great. The animation on it exploding, awesome.
Any thoughts, William?
Volcano.
I agree.
Respect.
William, you want to talk about this one?
Which one?
Terror on the Midway.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is one I remember the least.
Really? That's very ironic, I must say.
He fights a big gorilla.
One.
Yeah,
the circus one.
Yeah, the circus
I like this one a lot.
I do too. Purely just for Superman fighting a gorilla. That's awesome.
Yeah. I also just like the circus setting. It's like it's very unique, and it's more of a smaller scale than we're used to for these cartoons. Usually, it's like Superman has to like go throughout the whole city to like fight the thing, but now he's just like in a singular location. Yeah,
it's an interesting location. It's for this cartoon specifically. Oh, you're at the circus. It's different than your standard city setting or the volcano setting. Yeah, you actually get an actual circus. I like Lois in this one a lot because she actually gets a moment. She's, the reporter, obviously, so she's taking pictures of the carnage that the gorilla and all the circus animals are causing. But there's a moment where a little girl is cornered by the gorilla, and Lois drops her camera and goes to save her. It's like, oh, what a great moment of humanity in Lois, just to show that she actually cares. She's not just this heartless reporter that's just reporting and not doing anything to save the carnage. Like, she actually helps this little girl escape. It's like a really nice moment that I think I really impressed that the cartoon gets across really well for, again, just being a, how long is this short? 8 minutes long. Yeah, 8 minutes long. But then, of course, obviously the highlight is Superman punching a monkey.
Yeah, it's got everything. It's got the humanity. It's got the fun, like, circus antics. It's got monkeys. It's like it's a well-rounded cartoon.
Yeah, I like this one a lot too. I love the animation on the gorilla, especially when it first comes in. It's terrifying. The fucking close up of the gorilla face. Oh my god.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah,
They did both Godzilla and King Kong.
Yeah.
How'd they do that?
Fleischer was a predictor of things.
Predicting a movie that came out a decade earlier and later.
What's next?
What are next? I'll say it. I'll be the one to say it. Japateurs is next.
Guys, house canceled. Guys, house canceled.
I'm willing to be the one to get canceled.
It's a real slur.
No, so I looked it up. I could not find any evidence saying that Japateurs is a slur. I will say...
Well, that part... Okay, it's the first 3 letters that's a slur is the problem.
I know. But you also say those first 3 letters when you say Japan, so... But I agree.
The way they're using it.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. It sounds like a slur. I'll be the one to say it, so you guys don't have to. So yeah, Japateurs is the next one.
You said it 3 times already.
That's fine. That's fine. If I get canceled, that's fine. As long as you guys don't get canceled.
I can't believe Bloody Mary just got summoned.
Anyway, this cartoon is the first bad one, I'd argue.
Yes, sure. I'll give you that one. I still kind of like this one. Again, not for the racist aspects. I remember we were having this conversation before we even watched these cartoons. You were looking it up, and I remember Buster was like, "Hal, why'd you give the racist one 3 stars?" And
that was really as a joke. Because I do not care either way.
I know, but I do need to specify. I didn't give this one a 7 out of 10 because of the racism. I gave it a 7 out of 10 for every aspect other than the racism. But it is true that it is. So this one is called Japateurs because it's a bunch of Japanese spies taking over a plane, sabotaging the plane, the American plane. And it makes sense why they made it, because it was wartime. We were fighting the Japanese. We were at war with Japan. But did they have to make them with buck teeth and slant eyes? It's like, what are we... I get it. But it's not okay.
Ugly. For me, it's just like I can't get past the like ugly
no, and that's
of
fair.
Its time,
right?
Like,
I mean, they did it on purpose.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they did it on purpose.
It was done with full malice.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because
it's not even like there's not even like a sentiment like, oh, we want to represent like POC character. No, it's
we're fighting you in the war because of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
Even if they weren't at war, even if we weren't at war with Japan in the 40s, nobody was doing that anyway. Oh, we want to represent POCs. Absolutely nobody was thinking that in the 1940s.
Yeah, of course.
But no, I know what you mean. Yeah, and it's also just it is. Yeah, it's of its time. There's no going around that, and I acknowledge that. I'm just saying I like the big plane. I think it's really cool, the big plane. Yeah. I love the moment when, and I talked about this in my review, but I love the moment when one of the Japanese guys is just like, hey, come any closer, and she's going out the bomb bay doors, and Superman's like, okay, little man, you win, and just walks off the plane.
And then he puts her down anyway, so he just catches her.
Yeah, it's that tickled me. I don't know why. I don't know. Just the visual of watching Superman go out the door out an airplane. It's just like it's nothing. It's just so funny to me. But yes, no. Even with the context, it's still an awkward cartoon. I'll give you that, because it's so obvious that they're doing it just because it's wartime, and I'm sure the big wigs were just like, hey, you got to make this cartoon where Superman battles the Japanese. It's like, all right, I guess we have to now, Yeah,
because the military is funding cartoons at that point.
Right. Yeah. So it's definitely one of the ones that has aged the worst. There's aspects I like to it, but there's no denying there are aspects that are not very good to it.
The worst part is this isn't even my least favorite cartoon.
Well, yeah, we'll get to those ones. Hey, good news. Peak is back on the menu, though, after this one, because we get Showdown.
Yeah! Okay, this is where the one my profile pic of the episode is from.
Yeah.
Because there's just this gangster or like guy who's pretending to be Superman, and that's just this like that's my profile pic, the fake Superman, and it's like the funniest shit when he comes to face with the real Superman. It looks like the Chad and Soy Jack.
It totally does. Yeah. Sorry.
It's like the only one that's an outright comedy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, hired goon. I've made you the Soy Jack and me the Chad.
Yeah.
What I like about this one, it's interesting that this is the one after Japateurs, is that that is a cartoon where the aged aspects are detriment to it. This one, the aged aspects are kind of help it to be more entertaining because
you got the 1930s gangster talk.
1930s, 1940s gangster talk. I love that accent so much. I love just going like, "Hey boss, it's the real Superman. Oh, it's the Superman. We come on boys, we got to defeat this guy." It's a great accent. It's a great voice. I love doing it. But it's very entertaining because you don't get that kind of character that much anymore. These gangster characters. And also, it is just hilarious that you have this scrawny dude in the Superman costume holding a gun, and that's enough to fool people to be like, "Oh my God, it's Superman! He's robbing the bank!"
After one night.
After one night, they're just like, "Oh, it's Superman!"
Yeah, it's so silly, but I love it a lot.
Well, it also does lead to one of my favorite Superman reveals. When he's fully in costume, so he follows the guy as Clark Kent. He follows the guy up to the roof, and he closes the door, going, "Oh, this is a job for Superman." And you don't get the iconic music of him changing. You just see the guy go over to the door and open it, and Superman is right there in costume, and the anthem blows out, and it's amazing. It's a great reveal.
Yeah, it's so good, such a funny cartoon. Yeah, it's funny. It's exciting. It's one of my favorite. It's like top 3 of these cartoons for me.
The head gangster has his own Mr. Burns trap door in his office. It's perfect.
It's silly, but it's like, it's silly in like a charming, like pulp, like 40s way.
Pulpy, very much so. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the peak fiction one. So it's all downhill from here.
Back to abysmal fiction.
Oh, boy.
So 11th Hour, I would argue, is the worst one. I think.
That's my least favorite one.
At least with the other Japanese one, it, like I said, it had the elements that I really liked about it. This one, it's weird. It's very, very... So, obviously, it's about Superman and Lois are just in Japan for some inexplicable reason. I guess to do stories on the war or whatever. But it just kind of drops you in the action where Superman is already destroying Japanese military stuff. And it's like...
Which, like,
really a plot
why is
here.
It's like, why is he doing this one at a time? You can just take on the whole army at this point.
Right, exactly. It's a weird cartoon. I did kind of mention this. I do kind of like the idea of just kind of dropping you in the action. I think that could be a fun concept of just having him already in the Superman costume. But then they have the moment where he changes, and they do the whole kit and caboodle with him getting changed, and you have this music going. But it's like, okay, we already saw him in the Superman garb. Like, this is unnecessary at this point. It's just there to fill up the runtime, that 8-minute runtime.
Yeah, it's not like the plot is just non-existent. It just feels like an excuse. And I forgot to mention this in the last one. The racist Mickey Mousing they've been doing is like, that's where it comes to bite us back in the ass.
You have the gong playing because remember they're Asian.
Yeah, and then like the bow, and then it's like, it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
And if you thought the racism in the last one was bad, it is. But this one, just like 90% of the characters are buck-toothed, slant-eyed Japanese characters. It's like, my God, is there any normal-looking Japanese character? I get it, we were at war with them, but like, why do they all have to look like this?
Because racism.
I know.
Malice.
Yeah, Malice. Yeah, the Pearl Harbor really got everybody fired up. But even still, it's not
I
a
do
good
wish
cartoon.
there was a better. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's my least favorite of all the cartoons. I'll just say it up front. Yeah, barely any plot. Lots of just malice racism.
Yeah,
But I do agree with how like there is like kind of a fun concept there where it's like, oh, dropping in the middle of the action, but just this is the only cartoon that does that, and it's abysmal. So who cares?
yeah. It's definitely the one. It's definitely the cartoon that feels the most we have to do this rather than we want to do this.
Yeah, there's no passion or creativity there.
Sometimes the animation is still beautiful, but other times it's not enough.
Literally, the animation is the only thing that's like carrying that cartoon from being like a 2 star, 2 out of 10 for me than being a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, because it still has some elements that I still like with these cartoons, but not enough. Not enough as the other ones. This is definitely the one that even through trying to rewatch it, I'm like, I can't really say I would ever really watch this as often as the other ones again.
Yeah,
but it is cool to see from a historical standpoint. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's fine. Not fine. It's not fine. I don't.
It's
like
not
it,
fine,
actually.
But it's no. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's
like,
definitely the one where you're just like, all right, World War II is over now. We don't really need this one anymore. Again, it's cool to look from a propaganda historical perspective. I find World War II propaganda cartoons fascinating, so I like it for that. But I just don't like it.
Yeah, it just like when I'm watching like this, maybe if I was watching a bunch of wartime shorts, I'd be like more interested in it. But as just someone who's watching a bunch of Superman cartoons, like this isn't what I want.
Right, sure.
All right, next one.
Destruction Inc. This one we're back with the gangsters, not the gangsters from the last one, but there are gangsters in this one.
Yeah. This is the one with the factory, right?
It's the one with the factory. Yes, they go to the factory.
Okay, I think I have a story for this one because I distinctly remember back when I was in I have a nostalgia critic story with this.
Nice. Okay.
Because Hal's in. I went to see one of his reviews in theaters because that was a thing he was doing.
Yeah,
where it's like because I'm local to Chicago, so it's like he's a Chicago guy too, so he did a couple of reviews in theaters. So I went to see, I think it was the Suicide Squad one, and before that he played a riff of this cartoon in the theater. So that I think this is one of the first ones I watched, not the first one. We'll get to that one. We're still I remember seeing this one in a theater, which, kind of like a cool idea, even if there was Doug Walker riffing on it afterwards.
Because I have seen that riff he and his brother did, because they uploaded it to their channel. Oh, dude, I would have loved to have seen that in theaters. I hope he does that again someday. Obviously, he doesn't have the pull he once did, so he probably will never do it again. But if he ever does do another review in a theater, I would so do that.
Yeah, you would fly over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would do that. Yeah, it would suck, but it would be totally worth it.
Yeah, just for the experience. But yeah, other than that, this is the baseline of good for these cartoons. It's fun.
It's fun watching Lois kind of get chased around by these hired goons. And it's just as fun watching Superman beat up the hired goons.
I like when the car blows up and then Superman's fine anyway.
Yeah, it's so good.
I mean, it's Superman. He was going to be fine regardless.
Yeah. I'm gonna blow myself up with the car.
Yeah. Now, why he dressed himself up as the security guard, I don't know, but that's a plot line that doesn't really go anywhere.
I'd like to believe he just did it as a joke at the end of the movie, and that the real super guard is dead.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like. From what I understand, it's like that guy's just actually cooked. So it's like he was just trying to save face, but like it wasn't really communicated that well. All right, what's next?
What are next? Ooh, The Mummy Strikes. So this one, I feel like I grew up with this one. Well, obviously because I grew up with all of them, but this one really affected me at a young age because I remember a couple years back I rewatched these, and it was the first time since I was a kid rewatching them. And I guess the Mummy one really scared the shit out of me as a kid, just because you have these gigantic dudes, gigantic muscular Egyptian guards coming to life, and they have no pupils in their eyes. They're just pure white. and it's so dark in the wing of the museum that they're in, and it's so shadowy, and yeah, it scared the shit out of me as a kid. So for that, I love it just for the atmosphere. But admittedly, it is a weird one because there's a lot of exposition.
Yeah,
in a
and
2-second
it's like,
fight.
yeah, to Wildbugs, like it's for an 8-minute cartoon, for like especially for a series of cartoons that's mostly been like exciting like action. It's kind of weird to just have here's a bunch of I guess they wanted to like explain to the audience here's a bunch of stuff about mummies in this universe or whatever. I don't
Why
know.
is there a murder plot?
That too. It is weird that it starts off with a murder plot. Like they're like, oh, well, what's weird is that, yeah, the woman finds the guy at the beginning with a needle, like an actual syringe, and they're just like, your fingerprints are on the syringe. You did it. But then later on, Clark discovers the needle that comes out of the sarcophagus that looks nothing like the syringe that was with the guy. And he's like, so this is how the guy died. It's like, what? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Still a shoe.
Yeah, it's weird. But
And then he punches some mummies, and
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. And the
yeah.
cartoon ends.
I mean, yeah, because it is really cool watching. I really think the animation on the guards is beautiful. The animation on the sarcophaguses themselves rule. Like the music is very eerie and creepy sounding. It's great. It has the makings. If it was I feel like if it was longer, not movie length. I don't think you have enough here for a movie length, but for maybe like a television episode, like something longer than just a short cartoon, or condense all the exposition down and make it more of the fight.
Yeah, like just better balance the exposition,
Right.
exposition in the fight, because right now it's like lopsided to be more.
It is a
than
very
fight.
lopsided one. Again, I still respect the atmosphere that went into it. I respect anything that scared the shit out of me as a kid. But yes, there's a lot of elements holding it back for it being something truly special.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Jungle Drums. The weirdest
Boy.
propaganda cartoon.
Yeah, because I don't even know if this. Like,
And that's saying a lot.
Propaganda's so weird. Yeah, this is a weird one. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It's,
Why are they in the jungle at all? Why do they need to drive?
Yeah.
They don't do anything.
That is strange. It is strange that, we're what, 15 cartoons in, and only now they started fighting the Nazis. We fought the Japanese twice already in these cartoons. We're just now getting to the Nazis. I feel like the Nazis were the bigger. I mean, technically, the Japanese, we were fighting them in the Pacific a lot more, and Pearl Harbor, of course. But still, I feel like Germany was kind of the bigger villain at the time.
I don't know.
Yeah. But of course, we had to sneak in the African tribesmen in there too.
Yeah. So, like, apparently, I didn't really get this one. This one was confusing.
Yeah. I feel like, again, there's a lot of setup that I feel like doesn't really go anywhere.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
just a lot in general.
It is a lot.
It's like William's review is just like deep breath, and then he just explains the cartoon, and it's like I still don't know what this cartoon's about.
Yeah. There's
Because it's weak.
Yeah, there's not there's Nazis in the jungle. I mean, yeah, there were Nazis everywhere. This was a world war after all. But yeah, it's just confusing as to why they are there and why the African tribesmen are there too. It's like, what exactly is there a treasure here, or is this just a base? I don't think that's ever really specified.
Totem gun.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, totem gun. That's cool. It looks. We do get a great ending though with Hitler
Just
angrily changing
Yeah.
the radio station.
Like, I love one of the letterbox reviews for this cartoon is just cool cameo by Hitler. What?
Just like wizards.
Yeah. Or just like that one shitty what's the movie? Kingsman movie? Yeah. I don't know.
The King's Man, where he's a Marvel cameo at the very end during the
Yeah,
mid-credit
it's like-
scene. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not as cool. It's not as fun as a Hitler cameo as the Looney Tunes did. Like Looney Tunes did Hitler cameos pretty well, actually. Like when Daffy hits him over the head with a giant mallet.
Yeah.
When-
Like, he's just kind of there. He doesn't really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the pettiness of him just angrily changing the radio station. I will say I find it weird that he's, the Chancellor of Germany, and yet he's listening to an English-speaking radio program. But it's for the Americans watching the cartoon to know what the radio station is saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This one is like I know I can barely parse this cartoon besides the Hitler cameo. It's so strange.
That's fair. Luckily, the last two, I mean, the last one is definitely a propaganda one, but the last two, you definitely don't get any more of that racism. Because we have the underground world, which is the second to last one. This one, kind of cool.
Yeah. Let me remind myself what happened.
Bird people.
The bird people. Yeah, this one. Oh, this one I liked a lot. I know some people were like, I like to read reviews of these cartoons to like see what other people think, and like some people were like, "Why are they bird people underground?" And I'm like, "It's fantastical.
It's a cartoon.
Like, why not?"
I mean, yeah, evolutionarily that doesn't make sense. Why are beings underground winged creatures? That's not how that works.
Yeah.
But for a fantastical cartoon that's only 8 minutes long, it's like, yeah, sure, there's muscular birdmen underground with giant wings.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It is cool. I like the design of the birdmen. I think they're really cool looking. The dark green, and they got like these giant golden staffs. It's awesome.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of like a later DC Comics character, Hawkman.
Yeah, Hawkman, definitely. Yeah, it's a really cool. I wish they did more. You know, I think the bird people, the underground bird society, is really cool. I wish they did more with that.
Yeah. Well, look, it's a fun fight that they have.
Absolutely.
It's a fun little expedition.
Yeah, little expedition, exactly. Well, apparently, I'm reading the letterbox description for it. It's an homage to Edgar Rice Burroughs' At the Earth's Core. So.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, given we're going to the Earth's core and we're finding the birdman. Yeah. Yeah, there's not really much to say about the underground world. It's a fun, like, little adventure.
Yeah, the bird people themselves are the highlight.
Yeah. And then we get to the last one, which is actually the first one I ever watched.
Really? This was the first one?
Yeah. I watched, like, I don't remember who did the riff, but I watched a riff of this cartoon, and that was my first exposure to these Fleischer cartoons. And because like a lot of people, since they're public domain by technicality, a lot of people like to post little riffs on them, just be like Mystery Science Theater style, like, hey, let me riff this cartoon. And I was like, I kind of like the riff is kind of like secondary to me because I was like, wait, this rules. What? Like, so this is Secret Agent.
Yeah.
Is this a propaganda cartoon?
Well, I mean, there's Nazis.
There's Nazis.
Yeah, there's Nazis.
So yeah, automatically yes. But
yeah,
and then of course with the ending, absolutely. But I think this one's still the best one though, because it's literally just Superman tracking down the Nazis. Like there's no offensive stereotypes. There's no racism. It's just like a good old fashioned pulpy Nazi fighting serial.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that Clark takes initiative in the beginning.
He just jumps onto the car.
Also, there's no Lois in this one, but there's like a female character who's like a
Marilyn Monroe. What are you?
Yeah,
Marilyn Monroe.
That was always the weirdest part to me. So as a kid, I didn't like this one. Because Lois wasn't here, and you just had this random blonde woman. I'm like, who the fuck are you? But actually watching it as an adult and actually watching for the story, it's very pulpy, very fun. I wish the blonde woman did more than just scream and almost get crushed by the bridge. But I think for what it is, I think this one's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Good old Nazi fighting.
Yeah, especially the ending. Yeah, when you see Superman drop, I love Superman saves her because she's trying to get to the airport to get to Washington because she has files on these Nazi spies. And he like picks her up and flies her, and you think, oh, he's gonna fly her to the airport. No, he flies her to DC.
Just to have an ending with the American flag.
And then you just see him
kind of raw.
Oh my god, it rules so hard. You see him fly up and he salutes the American flag. You're just like, god damn it, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Don't have the best opinion about America right now, but damn, that doesn't make me feel patriotic.
Yeah. Brings a tear to my eye. Yeah, it is a weird one though, because you don't get Lois, you get this random woman. So it's weird that this was the last one. But
Yeah, it kind of feels like it was supposed to start like a new line of cartoons, or maybe I'm just thinking too hard about it. But like,
I could see that, yeah, like maybe starting a new line of cartoons. But then I guess at this point they were kind of like, we don't want to keep
who
going.
cares? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the ending of him saluting the American flag, if that's all we get from the Fleischer cartoons, well worth it. Well fucking
Yeah,
worth
that's a good ending for like this era of Superman.
Yeah. Yeah. 17 cartoons. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, that's like 2 hours worth of animation.
Yeah. And look, there's highs and lows. There's dips in there, here and there. But I think the good ultimately is what makes me keep returning to these cartoons time and time again.
Yeah, and like out of the 17, I'd consider like 14 of them worth like just I can recommend to anyone. There's just like 3 or 4 that I'm just like, nah.
That's still an 80%.
Yeah, that's still a good shooting range. Like
that's a B. That's a passing grade.
Yeah, that's a passing grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the DVD you have?
Kind of, yeah. So the DVD I have is not a Warner Brothers release. It's a who the fuck are these people? VCI Entertainment release. The DVD is from 2006. It kind of rules. I love the aesthetics of these 2000s DVD releases. And a lot of the extras are pretty cool. I like the bios that come with it. It's this weird PowerPoint presentation bio where you have a picture of the of the actor, and then you just see their name and their bios just kind of scroll up really slowly so people can read them. Very, very 2006. I mentioned this also, that Superman gets his own bio and it lists the movies that he's been in. So it says like Max Fleischer Superman 1978, Superman 1980. It conveniently doesn't mention Superman 3 or 4. Suspicious. And then because this was 2006, it says, and join Superman in the new adventure, Superman Returns.
Yeah, oh god, Superman Returns.
Directed by Bryan Singer and starring Kevin Spacey. You're like, uh-oh. I will say, though, I was a little disappointed by the quality. Now, when I say disappointed, am I shocked? No. The quality of the cartoons on the DVD were not good.
Yeah, I mean, this was like 2006. This kind of like peak, just like throw it on there for the DVD. Who cares?
Yeah.
No one really cared about like the quality of like the grain or whatever.
Right. And usually I love those, like, 50 of the greatest cartoons VHS, Cartoon Crazies Go to War. Like, I love those, like, because they're so shitty. But because I love the cartoons, the Fleischer cartoons, unironically, that quality was not funny this time. I'm like, all right, I'm trying to watch it. There's no subtitles. It's a little distracting. William, you have the Blu-ray, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Convince me to buy that, please.
It is technically the best they've ever looked on home physical media.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it also has the problem of they scrubbed a little too much grain away from it, because those Warner Brothers themselves are not archive.
Right.
It also doesn't have too much in the way of bonus features. It's just like 3 talking head features, and that's it.
That should be fine. Yeah. Because again, all the DVD gets is it also gets a bonus cartoon with Snafuperman, the private snafu parody of Superman, which was cute. It was cute to watch because they actually played the Superman theme when he turns into Snafuperman. But the cartoon itself was pretty lackluster. But I mean, it was a wartime propaganda cartoon. Of course, it was going to be lackluster.
And those weren't even shown to people in theaters. Those were shown to troops going fighting in the war.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think I will get the Blu-ray. I think I wanted to keep this DVD because, me, I love crappy compilations of cartoons on DVD. But I think because I have such respect for the Fleischer cartoons, because I love them so much, I do want to upgrade to that Blu-ray. So I'm getting rid of the DVD, but the Blu-ray, that absolutely has a place in my collection. Buster, what's your... I imagine you don't have these physically, but would you ever have these?
Probably not until. Like, here's the thing: like the one, they're public domain,
Right.
and which so I can watch them anytime. But so like on like wherever, and also just there's just not really like a physical release that really speaks to me. So I'm like, I'm just kind of like not really feeling like I don't need to have it physically, but it would be nice to if there was a good release, because right now all the releases that have come out just kind of don't really like aren't really to the quality I want to spend money on. You know?
Yeah, there are like every time I've been to Bull Moose and I go into the animation section, there's like 17 different compilation DVDs of these. It's hilarious. How I mean, because they're public domain by this point, so anybody can just slap them on a DVD and sell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just kind of a shame that like there's not really like a perfect or like a close to perfect one. Just because like they all have some kind of issues in their presentation or whatever. So
yeah,
maybe if it was like a bonus feature on like a different like thing where it's like you get like a Superman complete set and it's like they include these cartoons. Maybe that's how I'd own it.
That would be really cool if they did that. Yeah, they did like the Fleischer cartoons, the movies, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that'd be enormous and expensive, but it would be really cool.
Yeah, it would just be a nice like novelty set.
Oh yeah, novelty for sure.
Yeah, I think that wraps up. Does it wrap up the episode or?
Yeah.
So.
The only thing left to say is I hope Lewis comes back in the new Superman.
Oh
movie.
yeah, Lewis. My name Lewis.
Yeah, but weird extra character to throw in there. He never shows up again, but it's just
he's just there for a gag.
I thought it was Jimmy Olsen for a second at first too.
Yeah, no, he's in the.
There's a lot of characters in this that could be Jimmy.
Yeah, there's that character in the Showdown one where he's just like, "Hey, you two, the boss wants you to go to the opera, and remember, it's formal."
Yeah, there's a lot of Jimmy core characters in this. In these cartoons.
So but Lewis rules just for his 30 seconds of screen time.
Yeah, bro, bring him back into like the sequel, James Gunn.
Yeah. All right. Let's start things off. William, why don't you shout out your stuff? You go first.
It's in the description. Woohoo!
Bing bong.
I'm
man.
tired.
Okay. Good night, William. Buster, you can choose to shout out your stuff. I mean, you're going to be back again for Superman Summer, so if you want to wait for that, that's fine.
I mean, I'll just shout out like my podcast channel right now. If you just want to keep listening to me on podcasts, we're doing all sorts of fun stuff over at Modular Media. Doing a weekly like Tokusatsu podcast. We're just talking about new episodes of like Sentai and Ultraman. And then like we do like a monthly like media club. This month we're doing Berserk 1997, the anime. So that's gonna be very exciting. I don't know what's next month, so just tune into that episode to find out what's next month because we haven't recorded that episode yet. Podcast is so weird. Scheduling and all that. But like, go check out Modular Media.
Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for this episode. But we'll be back with more Superman Summer, the Summer of Superman, next week or at some point. Whenever the next one comes out, you'll see it. So stay tuned, folks. See ya.
Same super time, same super channel.
Same super podcast. Just for you, into the